Let me ask you something and be honest with yourself. Have you ever had one of those nights where you barely close your eyes, and then suddenly you're awake again, rushing to the bathroom, and then it happens again and again? Before you know it, the sun is peeking through the window, and you're sitting there exhausted, wondering if you ever even slept at all. And if you're caring for an aging parent, a spouse, or even if you're a senior yourself, you know how draining it feels. It's not just about walking to the bathroom, it's about that sinking feeling when you realize your night's rest has been stolen. Again, you wake up groggy, your body aches, your balance is shaky, and deep down, you know, this isn't just getting older. Something about this isn't right. Here's my confession to you. Most people ignore this problem. They brush it off as normal. They think, well, this is just part of aging, nothing can be done. But that's simply not true, and ignoring it is dangerous. Because poor sleep in seniors isn't just an inconvenience. It chips away at memory, weakens the immune system, raises the risk of heart problems, and can even lead to falls in the middle of the night. And here's a powerful fact that might shock you. Studies show that waking up 2 or more times every night to urinate can shorten your life expectancy and double the risk of severe fatigue-related falls. That's not a small thing. That's not something to laugh off. That's something you need to pay attention to today. Now let me ask you this. If you knew there were simple, natural foods right in your kitchen that could help calm your bladder and let you finally sleep through the night, wouldn't you want to know about them? Wouldn't you want your loved one to have that chance at peace again? Because that's exactly what we're going to uncover in this video. 4 specific dry fruits. 4 natural, time-tested, science-backed foods that you can add to your evenings to gently reduce nighttime urination, help your body relax, and give you back something priceless. A deep, uninterrupted night's rest. But before we dive in, let me pause right here and tell you something important. If you're hearing this and still don't hit that subscribe button, ask yourself this. When the sleepless nights get worse, when the fatigue deepens, when your loved one's memory slips just a little more, will you wish you had listened sooner? Don't wait until it's too late. Don't tell yourself, I'll subscribe later. Later may be too late. Subscribe right now and protect yourself and the people you care about. Now, I don't just want to scare you, I want to empower you. Because the truth is, there are steps you can take, small ones starting tonight, that can make a massive difference. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what they are. Here's what to expect. You'll learn the 4 dry fruits that help calm the bladder naturally, the mistakes families make without realizing it, the myths you've probably been told, and the gentle wellness strategies you can start immediately, even if you've struggled for years. And hey, don't just watch passively. Be part of this conversation. If you want to improve nighttime rest for yourself or for someone you love, go down to the comments right now and type, "Better sleep." I'll be checking those comments, and I'd love to know who's ready to take this step toward better nights. And of course, if you haven't yet, join our Elderly Spring family. Subscribe for more simple, natural ways to support senior health, because your best years deserve the gift of peace, rest, and strength. And one last thing before we get started. If sleep struggles are a constant challenge in your home, I've put together something very close to my heart. The Elderly Spring Sleep Wellness Kit. It's a gentle, natural resource designed to help seniors reclaim restful nights. You'll find the link in the description. Be sure to check it out. So let's begin with the very first dry fruit that has helped countless seniors regain calmer nights: almonds. Now I want you to picture this. Imagine an elderly gentleman in his 70s. Every night, he dreaded bedtime because he knew what was coming. 2, 3, sometimes even 4 trips to the bathroom. His legs felt weak, his balance was poor, and every time he stumbled out of bed in the dark, his daughter worried he might fall. But then, she made one small change. She began soaking a few almonds in water each morning, peeling off their skin, and giving them to him an hour before bed. Within weeks, his nights changed. Not perfectly, but significantly. He was waking up less, he was calmer, and the dark circles under his eyes began to fade. Now, why would something as simple as almonds make such a difference? Well, almonds are rich in magnesium, a mineral that plays a key role in calming your muscles, including the muscles around your bladder. When your bladder is tense and irritated, it signals your brain to wake up, even when it's only partly full. But magnesium helps those muscles relax, giving you more control and helping you stretch the time between bathroom visits. Almonds also support melatonin production, the natural hormone your body relies on to regulate sleep cycles. That's why seniors who eat almonds regularly often report falling asleep faster, staying asleep longer, and waking up more refreshed. But here's where many families go wrong. They think any almonds will do. They grab a handful of salted, roasted almonds late at night, sometimes even with a sugary snack, and then they wonder why it's not working. The truth is, salted almonds can actually increase thirst and fluid intake, which makes nighttime urination worse. The solution? Soak 4 to 6 raw almonds in water overnight, peel off the skin, and eat them plain before bedtime. This gentle, natural preparation unlocks their benefits without adding extra strain on your system. Now, I know what some people say, "Oh, almonds are just good for memory or strong bones." Yes, they are, but what's rarely talked about is their calming effect on the nervous system. That's what makes them so powerful for nighttime rest. And let me just pause for a moment to say this. Imagine knowing something as simple as soaked almonds could ease your nights, but ignoring it because you didn't subscribe and missed our future tips. Why risk another restless night? Subscribe now, because each time you delay, you're choosing another broken night of sleep. But almonds aren't the only dry fruit with hidden benefits. Let's look at one that surprises almost everyone: dates. Now, dates might not be the first thing you think of when it comes to sleep, but let me tell you a story. A caregiver once shared how her elderly mother struggled not only with bathroom interruptions, but also with late-night hunger. She would wake up, snack on crackers or sweets, and of course, end up drinking more fluids. But when she introduced just 1 or 2 dates after dinner, everything shifted. Her mother felt satisfied, her energy was stable, and she wasn't sneaking into the kitchen at midnight anymore. The result? Fewer bathroom trips. Here's why this works. Dates are high in potassium, which helps balance fluids in the body. Too much or too little potassium can throw your fluid regulation off, and that directly affects how often you need to urinate. Dates also contain natural sugars, not the harmful processed kind, that stabilize energy levels, keeping the body calm through the night. Now, some people worry, aren't dates too sweet? Won't they cause weight gain or blood sugar spikes? And here's the truth. When eaten in moderation, dates are actually one of the most balanced natural sweets you can eat. Just 1 or 2 dates after dinner can help reduce cravings, keep your blood sugar steady, and prevent that restless, wakeful state that pushes you toward the bathroom. Here's the practical tip. Stick to just 1 or 2 dates after your evening meal. Don't overdo it. Think of it as a small, sweet ritual to close your dinner. And if dates help balance fluids, the next dry fruit works like nature's gentle sedative. Let's talk about walnuts. I'll never forget the story of a widow in her 70s who wrote about her struggles with restless nights. She wasn't just waking up to use the bathroom, she was tossing and turning, her mind racing, her body refusing to settle. But when her doctor recommended adding walnuts to her diet, she noticed something incredible. Within weeks, she felt calmer, her thoughts slowed at night, and her trips to the bathroom became less urgent. Why? Because walnuts are a natural source of both omega-3 fatty acids and melatonin. Omega-3s fight inflammation, which can irritate the bladder and keep you running to the bathroom. And melatonin, as you know, is the sleep hormone. Unlike supplements, which can sometimes be too strong, walnuts provide melatonin in a natural, gentle form that supports your body's rhythm. The misconception: people often avoid walnuts because they're too fatty. But here's the truth. The fats in walnuts are healthy, essential fats that feed your brain, calm your nervous system, and yes, help stabilize your bladder function. The practical way to take them? Just 1 or 2 walnut halves, eaten about an hour before bed. Not with a heavy meal, not with sugary desserts, just on their own. That's when their calming effect truly shines. And before I move to the final dry fruit, I want to pause again, because this part is important. If you care for an aging parent or partner, skipping subscribe could mean you're leaving them in the dark without solutions. Wouldn't you want to give them every chance at peaceful sleep? Subscribing isn't about numbers, it's about staying informed, staying equipped, and giving your loved ones the rest they deserve. Finally, let's talk about one dry fruit that most people don't connect to sleep, but may be the most powerful: raisins. Think about this. An elderly couple in their late 60s once admitted they had a nightly habit of cookies and tea before bed. Sweet, yes, but terrible for sleep. They were waking up 2, sometimes 3 times every night. Then they made one simple change. They swapped the cookies for a small spoonful of raisins soaked in warm water. Within a few weeks, the bathroom trips slowed, and their energy in the mornings returned. Why does this happen? Raisins are packed with antioxidants and potassium. Together, these compounds soothe irritation in the bladder, balance fluid levels, and reduce inflammation that might trigger unnecessary bathroom trips. The common misconception is that raisins cause bloating or too much sugar, but in small measured amounts, like a tablespoon soaked in water, they're incredibly gentle on digestion and actually calm the bladder. So here's the practical way. Soak a tablespoon of raisins in warm water, let them plump up, and eat them about half an hour before bed. This little ritual can make a surprising difference. And now that we've gone through all 4, almonds, dates, walnuts, and raisins, let's step back and look at something equally important: the common mistakes families make. First, drinking large amounts of water right before bed. This one seems obvious, but you'd be surprised how often it happens. Seniors think they're staying hydrated, but all they're really doing is setting themselves up for a restless night. Second, overusing caffeine or even herbal teas late at night. Yes, even some herbal teas can act as diuretics, making the bladder overactive. Third, ignoring bladder training exercises. Simple routines to strengthen bladder control often get overlooked, and families assume nothing can be done. And fourth, the most damaging mistake of all, assuming nighttime urination is just normal and must be accepted. That belief has robbed countless seniors of the rest and peace they deserve. And let me be blunt here. Families who don't subscribe often repeat these mistakes for years, thinking they're harmless. Don't be one of them. Hit subscribe now so you're not left regretting preventable errors. Now, I want to pause with you here and really let this sink in. Because everything we've talked about so far, the almonds, the dates, the walnuts, the raisins, these aren't just foods, they are tools. Gentle, natural tools. But behind all of this lies something much bigger than nutrition. It's about dignity. It's about peace. It's about those precious hours of rest that every senior deserves, and that every caregiver longs to see their loved one enjoy. Think about it. How many times have you or someone you love woken up groggy, frustrated, or even scared in the middle of the night? How many mornings have started with exhaustion instead of energy, with irritability instead of joy? Those aren't just small inconveniences. Those moments chip away at life itself. Sleepless nights don't just rob the body of rest, they rob families of memories, patience, and even safety. But here's the truth I want you to carry with you. Nighttime struggles do not have to be a life sentence. You are not powerless. Your loved ones are not doomed to live this way forever. The body, even in later years, responds to care. It responds to small, intentional changes. And what might feel like just food can become the difference between fear and freedom, between restless nights and peaceful sleep. You see, I've spoken to countless families who thought nothing could change. They told me, "It's just old age." But after learning these strategies, after trying soaked almonds, after swapping late-night snacks for dates or raisins, after bringing walnuts into their evening routine, they began to see real change. And do you know what's even more powerful than the science? The relief on a caregiver's face when they see their parent sleep through the night. The smile of a grandmother who wakes up refreshed instead of drained. That is the true gift here. And I need to ask you something straight from the heart. Will you act on this knowledge, or will you let it slip away like so many do? Because information without action changes nothing. And if you've come this far with me, I know you care. I know you want something better, not just for yourself, but for those you love. Others in our elderly spring family are already improving their nights. They're already sharing their stories of calmer sleep, fewer bathroom trips, brighter mornings. And if you're not subscribed, you're falling behind while others move forward. Think about that. Every day you wait, others are moving closer to solutions while you remain stuck in the same old cycle. And if you choose not to subscribe, at least be honest. Drop a comment below explaining why you'd walk away from solutions that could save your loved one's sleep. I don't say this to shame you. I say it because I care enough to remind you that regret always feels heavier than action. Choosing to do nothing means choosing more restless nights, more exhaustion, and more risk. But choosing to step forward, even in a small way, means giving yourself and your family the gift of hope. And that's really what this is about, hope. Because no matter how long the sleepless nights have lasted, no matter how many times you've said, "This is just how it is," there is always room for change. There is always another chance to bring peace back into the night. So let this be your reminder, you are not alone. You are part of a growing family of people who believe that aging with peace and dignity is possible. That family is here. That support is here. And the next step, the simplest step, is right in front of you. So before we finish, let's take a moment to look back at what we've uncovered together today. We talked about almonds, rich in magnesium, gentle on the nervous system, and a quiet supporter of bladder relaxation. Just a handful of soaked almonds at night can bring the body closer to rest. We explored dates, with their natural potassium and slow-release sugars, keeping the body balanced and reducing the hidden triggers that send so many running to the bathroom after midnight. We learned about walnuts, tiny but powerful, filled with omega-3s and melatonin, helping not only the brain but also the bladder to find calm during the night. And finally, raisins, those little gems of sweetness that soothe inflammation, balance hydration, and offer comfort without the crash of processed bedtime snacks. 4 simple dry fruits, 4 natural allies in the battle for peaceful, uninterrupted sleep. And beyond that, we highlighted the mistakes families make without realizing it: too much water before bed, late caffeine, ignoring bladder training, and worst of all, believing that sleepless nights are just normal. They are not. They can be addressed. They can be improved. Now here's where you come in. I want to hear from you. Which of these dry fruits would you or your loved one try first? Would it be almonds, the calming classic? Dates with their balancing touch? Walnuts, the natural sleep enhancer? Or raisins, the surprising little helper? Head down to the comments and tell me. Your story could inspire someone else who's struggling tonight. And while you're here, if this video gave you even a spark of hope, I invite you to take one simple step. Subscribe. Subscribe not just for yourself, but for the people you care for. Every week, we share natural solutions, gentle tips, and reminders that senior health can be strengthened with knowledge and compassion. By joining our elderly spring family, you're making sure you don't miss the next piece of the puzzle, the next answer that might change everything for you. And I'll leave you with this: aging doesn't have to mean surrendering to restless nights. The best years can still be the most peaceful years. With the right knowledge, with small, consistent steps, you can help create mornings filled with energy instead of fatigue, laughter instead of frustration, hope instead of helplessness. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I don't take it lightly, because I know every minute matters when you're caring for someone you love, or when you're caring for yourself. And remember, if you want a deeper guide, a gentle step-by-step companion to help build better senior sleep routines, look in the description for the Elderly Spring Sleep Wellness Kit. It's something I put together with great care, and it's there for you if you're ready to take the next step. Stay rested, stay healthy, and never forget, peaceful nights are not just a dream, they can be your reality.